All right, I got some twigs in there right now to start this fire up. Soon I'll be switching to that oak that I split up. And to start it tonight, we're going to use some cardboard and some of this alcohol-based fire starter gel. That'll get it going. And the rocket stove from Patriot Metalworks and Smokers will be cooking in just a few moments. Hey, welcome to Big Lou Barbecue and other things I want to do. I'm Big Lou, and this is what I've got going on for you. I'm gonna make something chicken a la king. That's what I call it. But it's probably not the authentic chicken a la king anymore. You see, like nearly 20 years ago now, 18 years ago now, when my kids were small and my wife was alive and I had a little family, I looked up a chicken a la king recipe on the internet and said, that'll be fun to make. And I made it and they liked it. And since then, I just kind of been making it. It's kind of home cooking comfort food that we serve at my family. And I thought I'd share it with you. It's chicken a la king like, in that it's chicken and mushrooms in a cream sauce. What's authentic and not authentic, I don't know, all right? I like to serve it with pasta, with the pasta in it. It's normally served like over pasta. You can serve it over mashed potatoes. You can serve it over rice. You could serve it over whatever. But basically, you need chicken. I'm using half a dozen chicken thighs, boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I've already got, they're inside. I'm not gonna show you those right now, but they're inside. They've already seasoned up with some Cajun Creole seasoning, whatever brand you like. I already seasoned them up with that. All right, you need some mushrooms. Now here I've got not quite a pound of mushrooms. I was gonna use like an 8-ounce pack, but I bought it a week or so ago. Kids got into it, and that was the brown mushrooms, like the, what, bells? Baby bells, something like that. And then I bought white mushrooms, a 8-ounce pack of white mushrooms. So most of an 8-ounce pack of bells and white, it doesn't matter what kind of mushrooms you use. Just mushrooms, they're sliced and I washed them, okay? You need something to serve it over or serve it with. I use a pasta. Sometimes I use, I prefer to use, what is that, rotini? I prefer to use rotini with this, but you can use linguine, you can use bow tie pasta. I've served it over spaghetti. Today, this is what was in my cabinet. By the way, the only thing I went out to do was buy that extra pack of mushrooms and 2 bell peppers. That's the only thing I went to the grocery store to make. Everything else is just coming out of my cabinet, all right? Cream, I think traditionally it uses heavy whipping cream. I don't use heavy whipping cream. I just use a can of evaporated milk. It doesn't curdle when you cook it. You could use whole milk. Trust me on this, 2% milk does not make this recipe good. Don't use 2% milk or anything less than that. You can do it with whole milk, and you can do it with half and half, whipping cream, something like that. I use a can of evaporated milk. You need half a stick of butter. You know what that's for? That's for a roux, right? Yeah, that's for a roux, all right? You need big old onion. That I usually use white when I have it, but yellow onion works. Yellow onion certainly does work. Bell peppers, I usually just use green, but because we're putting this on camera, I want to get fancy, I'm using a red and a green. All right, couple bell peppers. And, sweet peas. Frozen work. I think you're supposed to use frozen. I often use cans because I usually have cans. Can of green peas, English peas, sweet peas, whatever you want to call them. Canned peas is what I'm using. And some spice. You can use salt and pepper. You could use salt, pepper, red pepper. Sometimes I'll throw a can of green chilies in this if I have it. I don't have it, so I'm not throwing a can of green chilies in it. Let's see. I often put my favorite herb blend, which is herbe de Provence. I don't know how you say it in French, but I try to fake it, you know. Herbe de Provence. Providence herbs is French herb blend. I throw some of that in mine. Traditionally, I think sherry is used in it. A lot of people use white cooking wine. Some people use a beer. Since I'm a straight man, if I drink wine, it's a dry red wine like a Malbec or something, or a Cab. I don't drink white wine, and so I don't buy white wine. I got this Marcella cooking wine. I know people don't use cooking wine to cook. Well, I'm not buying white wine. I'm not going to drink it. I'm not going to buy it. So I ain't buying white wine. I got this. That's what's going in there in place of the sherry or the white wine. I have substituted lemon lime soda. All right, you could do lime juice. You could do a grapefruit juice. Do rice wine vinegar. I've done that before. Something a little tarten it up. You only need just a little bit of it anyway. All right, so my rocket stove's heating up. My water should be boiling. We're gonna get this pasta cooked. I know that was 5 minutes, but hey, I went through the ingredient list with you. All right, it has gotten dark out here, but my water is boiling. I started this about 6:30 in the evening, and so it's gotten dark. Anyway, rigatoni's the pasta I have on hand. Macaroni, I've done this with macaroni, whatever kind of pasta you got. We're gonna drop that in there, let that boil. We'll take my handle out so I can put the lid on it. Now, I did a video where I cooked rice in this pot on this stove. People said, you're not supposed to boil stuff in cast iron. Look, I've been cooking in cast iron since I was 16 years old, and I am 53 now, 53 years old. So I've been cooking since about 1985, 1986 in cast iron. I boil all kind of stuff in it, and I make rice, and I make pasta, and I make whatever. I don't care what cowboy told you can't. I'm telling you, if you keep your stuff right, you can boil stuff in it, all right? All right, the pasta has boiled up pretty good. So what I'm gonna do now is drain it, put my little handle back in this basket here, which isn't hard to do. I deep fry in this basket, boil pasta in this basket and everything, and you know what, it's hard to do with one hand. I got the lid in this hand. Let me set that lid down. All right, now I got it. Yeah, it goes in just that easy. All right, so drain this pasta. I'm gonna set it to the side. Pasta's drained. Let's set it over here. Now, I think you're supposed to use chicken stock. I use bouillon, and I use this pasta water. I think it makes a thicker sauce to use pasta water like that. So I'm gonna spare about a quart maybe of this pasta sauce, and I'm gonna put, about yay much of that chicken bouillon. Then I'm gonna ladle out this water here. Get myself a quart of it before I remove the pot, and I'll dispose of the rest of it. A quart's probably about all I need, may not even need that much. I wanna make sure I stir up that bouillon real well. But the pasta water, you always save your pasta water if you're making a sauce, because it just makes your sauce thick and makes it stick to the pasta, and I just like to do that if I'm making a pasta sauce. And like I said, I don't always use this on pasta. Sometimes it's on rice, mashed potatoes, baked potatoes, whatever. And there you go, instant chicken stock or chicken broth, whatever you want to call it. All right, I'm gonna remove the pot for now and dispose of the water. All right, that looks dirty on camera, but that's just some moisture and oil from where the pot was. Here's my chicken thighs. I seasoned them up a few hours ago with Cajun Creole seasoning, and we're just gonna start to grill them up. They don't have to go all the way done. They need to go mostly brown up most of the way done. And these just boneless, skinless chicken thighs. If I can get room for that last one, right about there. Pour some of that stuff back on it. Might put my fire out a little bit, but it'll burn up. All right, I think it's about time to turn these over. Indeed it is. Now look, I'm cooking with post oak. Well, that one could have stayed on that side a little longer. Cooking with post oak. I often cook with yard oak, just with bark on it and limbs and stuff, because it's free. And if I'm cooking in a pot, it doesn't matter. But if I'm grilling, I don't want all that bark and stuff on my food, so I cook with a little cleaner type of firewood that you saw in the bucket earlier. Anyway, let those continue to go. Like I said, they don't have to cook all the way through because they're gonna cook in the sauce a little bit, but I want them 80% cooked. All right, I just checked everything with my Thermopin 1, and it's all around 160 something. And that's chicken is safe to eat at that. Thigh meat goes a little bit. See, it's 173 right there. All right, so yeah, so it's time to get this off of here. And it's okay because we want to cook this down to it's tender, you know. I'm just going to use the lid to my Lodge pot as a platter. Let this cool off, and I'm going to chop it up or tear it up with my hands. All right, I'm going to scrape all that off. We're going to put the pot back on here. The surface is clean enough to put the pot back on. The pot's still somewhat warm, but it's cooled off quite a bit because I can touch it, but it's still warm. Got to get that hot again, and we'll start making our roux. Now, if you watch the video this long, one, I want to thank you, and two, hang with me because we're starting to make what is going to turn this into chicken a la king. All we've done so far, and by the way, if that doesn't look level, it's not the rocket stove, it's my backyard. All right, anyway, we got to melt that, and we're going to start making our roux. We're about to make the chicken a la king. All right, so that half a stick of butter, I'm going to put in about 2 ounces of flour. That's a roux spoon, it's flat on the bottom. And yes, I use metal utensils in my cast iron too. I don't care what cowboy told you can't do that. Yeah, it makes some noise. Anyway, I'm making a blonde roux. If you don't know how to make a blonde roux, you can turn the video down and watch me, or you watch somebody else do it on a quieter thing. This is not going to take all too long. And it is hot, it's going fast, so you get those vegetables in there. All right, I want a blonde roux with this. If you want a darker roux, go with a darker roux. But I'm gonna go ahead and dump in the onion and bell pepper that I cut up. Get that all coated. Get in there. Get it all coated in that roux. And start cooking these things down. That'll stop the roux from cooking for a bit. And we're gonna get these vegetables kind of softened. Probably should add the lid back on at this point, but the lid's holding my chicken, so I'm not doing that. All right, these vegetables have gotten soft. They do not need to get brown or caramelized or anything like that. You kind of want the bright colors in this dish. That's why I like using a red one. I don't always use a red one. I'm just doing it at home. But remember, you're watching Big Lou Barbecue and other things I want to do. And look, I make family meals, not fancy meals, all right? Yeah, store brand stuff and whatever, okay? By the way, that church key, I don't know if you can see it in the light there, but that says Falstaff beer on it. Yeah, that's how old that is. You remember Falstaff? So we'll get the evaporated milk into it. I like using this. I think the original authentic stuff uses heavy whipping cream, but like I said, this is chicken a la king like. It's not official, authentic, original chicken a la king, all right? Never claimed it was gonna be either, did I? So we're gonna get that mixed up, bring that to a boil, get that roux all incorporated into that evaporated milk. All right, as you can see, I've cut up my chicken into bite-sized chunks. So we're gonna go ahead and get the chicken in there. I'm just kind of standing in the light here, but let's see if we can get the flash going. All right, I got the flash going on it now, so you might be able to see a little better. So I got the chicken cut up into chunks, that grilled chicken, and I'm just dumping it in here. And like that. And all that on that lid will fall in there when I bring it to a boil here in a minute. We get the chicken all coated in that sauce. Now this sauce is real thick now, and we're gonna be adding that bouillon and some peas. So let's get that done now. We're almost finished. All right, I'm adding a can of peas. I did not drain them. You can drain them, depending on how thick your sauce is. But I think the sauce gives a good flavor, so I add it in early and then add less of the chicken bouillon stuff. Go ahead and mix that up. Doesn't this look good? Almost done. You know what? I should have put the mushrooms in earlier, maybe. I'm gonna go ahead and put them in now. When you're out here cooking at night and you're doing things on camera, Sometimes you forget. I kept thinking I'm forgetting something. There the mushrooms were hiding behind my pot over there, and I didn't see them on the table. So you can brown them up with the vegetables. Is probably best. But I'm gonna let these cook down for a while, and I'm just gonna let these cook down for a while, and then we're gonna add the sauce. All right, I've continued to stir this every so often, and I've kept it covered since the chicken's in there. And the mushrooms are beginning to get small. Look, I should have put them in there with the onions and bell peppers. They were hiding behind there. It's nighttime out here, cooking on a rocket stove, managing my fire, doing a video. If you've never seen my channel before, I'm just a fella having fun with food, fire, and a phone camera in my backyard. I'm not a professional chef. I don't have a big budget. I don't have a production team. Don't have a camera crew. I don't have professional equipment. I just do this for fun. Hopefully it helps you if you're interested. And I don't even ask you to like, comment, or subscribe because that's on you, bro. I just want to show you what I'm doing, and we're going to add in that chicken bouillon I made with the pasta sauce. And oops, some of it didn't come out of there, get stirred up enough, so we're going to just dump that in there too and bring this to a boil. I said pasta sauce, the pasta water. Anyway, that's probably enough. I had a lot of bouillon in there anyway. So we're gonna bring this to a boil, and I'm gonna taste it with a spoon and see if it's right. I'm gonna adjust the seasonings. You could add salt and pepper. I'm gonna add some more Cajun Creole seasoning if I don't think there's enough. And it's gotta thicken up some because now it's thin. Now it's too thin. But we're gonna let those mushrooms boil down in that. They'll get a little smaller, and well, not too much longer. Stay with me. Okay, this is approaching a boil, but it's not quite right yet. I need to adjust the seasons. I just tasted it, and it's close. It's real close. But I gotta add, you know, you're supposed to use sherry. I showed you I'm gonna use a little bit of this cooking Marcello. It's not as dark as real European Marcello wine, and just a little bit. You don't need much, all right? And I'm gonna add a few more herbs and spices and some seasonings, and we'll be done. I like to add some Provence herbs. I like these herbs. I put them in a lot of things. If you watch my channel, I use them in lots of things. That's probably enough. You can add parsley. Parsley is, I think, what you're supposed to add, but I add this. So, you want to add parsley, use parsley. Add a little bit more. There's parsley in this, by the way, but there's other herbs in it too. So I just like that. But I think you're supposed to put parsley. I am from Louisiana. We live on this stuff. This goes in everything. Don't need a lot of this. It's almost, season's almost adjusted, but I want to add just a little bit more. All right, I'm gonna bring this to a boil, and we've got one more step to do after that. Hang with me. All right, I just took the lid off and stirring it. It has come to a boil. Now look, at this point, you can serve that over a baked potato, serve that over mashed potatoes, serve that. It's gonna thicken up as you let it cool a little bit because it's pretty darn hot right now. But you can serve it over egg noodles. We serve it over a lot in my family because they're cheap, available at Dollar Gentry. And you know, fettuccine, you can put it we put it on bow tie pasta, and I like rotini pasta and this. And when I'm using this kind of pasta in it, I don't serve it over it. I just put the pasta in, stir it around, and then we just scoop it out with a ladle. So I'm gonna stir this all in there, and this is done. So that's all that pasta we cooked at first. And I'm gonna get it all coated into the sauce. And my son and I, we're only the ones at the house tonight. We'll have leftovers tomorrow. But this is grilled chicken a la king. Now look, if you wanna make this and you don't have a rocket stove, you've got two good choices and a third, all right? The first choice is choice A. And A stands for adequate. And that means you can use your gas grill and a side burner. Make the sauce on the side burner, grill the chicken over the gas grill. All right, that's adequate. Choice B stands for better. The better choice is to contact Patriot Metalworks and Smokers and get you a rocket stove like this, all right? I'll have a link down below to their website. And then choice C, it just stands for chicken a la king. It won't be grilled chicken a la king. You make this inside in in your house, and you could use canned chicken, rotisserie chicken from the store, any kind of pre-cooked chicken you got, but it won't be grilled chicken a la king over a wood-fired grill like I did right here. It's not really a wood-fired grill, it's a wood-fired rocket stove, but it's grilled chicken with wood fire. And I'll tell you what, this is going to be just delicious. We're just going to eat that out of bowls. Chicken a la king. And look, I've already tasted it as I sampled it and adjusted my season. I'm telling you what, it's good. And that wood-fired chicken, grilled chicken always gives it a good flavor. And grilling it over that oak wood really makes this taste delicious.